I just want to say that re-examine your movement, your intentions, your thought process. There is definitely racism that still, and these issues exist not only in America, but in Africa. Look at the skin bleaching that a lot of African women are doing in Nigeria, in other countries. Again, they feel like the fairer skin is beautiful, more beautiful than darker skin. So ask yourself, why am I bleaching my skin? What's wrong with my beautiful bronze skin color that I have right now? Or wearing blonde hair, straight blonde hair. What is wrong with why can't I wear my natural curly hair that the Creator gave me? So it is very much a pivotal part in Africa as well as throughout the diaspora. I am getting adjusted as I deal with my African brothers and sisters in Africa on Zoom and so forth. I'm getting adjusted to the fact that they call me white, that I have white skin, I'm white. And I asked a couple of Africans, I said, I'm a Black woman, I'm not white. And they said, oh, that's how we call light-skinned people, we call them white. Well, if we're looking at race or culture or so forth, a white person is typically a European person. So I am trying to get adjusted to that concept, but I'm not white, I'm Black. And that's what I want to share with the African is you definitely have those issues in Africa too, about white skin and Black skin and what white is and what it isn't, and the need to change who you are, the beautiful melanin that you have. It's beautiful, so keep it.
Thank you very much, Nina. One point that Nina has rightly noted is that Africans at home need to actually embrace their identity. And so, Nina, what do you think? What do you say to those who are willing? How can they home support the movement?
Get educated about the dynamics of systemic racism and discrimination and what it really is. I found that a lot of youth, African youth, don't understand slavery. They're not very familiar about what happened. So education is key. There's so much information on the internet about the transatlantic slave trade, and even with the Muslims, enslaving the Africans, you can go back past before the Europeans and educate yourself on how slavery started, and then educate yourself so you can be empowered and make a difference and create change in your community. Yes, I think that we should revisit the movement of the Black Panthers. Out here in South Los Angeles for the past 2 years, I have been giving organic groceries to the underserved communities, to primarily Black and Latino communities in underprivileged areas. I was inspired to do that type of work because of the Black Panther Party. When I found out all the outreach that they were doing to help their poor communities with food, with education, with health, that inspired me to do the same thing. And so I've been doing that, giving out food for the past 2 years. I also feel like them policing their community to protect their community is something that definitely needs to be examined and looked at, and see how we can best model that movement. As we know, in the United States, the budget to police officers have been severely reduced, and the money is now being allocated in social service programs. So I think that it would be great for us as a Black community to create a system like the Black Panthers had when they were protecting their community. And on that note, I want to take it a step further about policing your community as a society. Before the Black Panthers even existed, in the early 15 and 1600s in Ghana, there were an ancient form of Black Panthers called the Asafo, A-S-A-F-O, Asafo people. And the Asafo people, to this day, they were designed, they came as warrior men, African Ghanaian warrior men, to protect their communities against the European colonizers. And they're still there in the community to this day to protect it. And I'd like to see us go back to that model of being Asafo warriors protecting our communities and modern day Black Panthers.
Well, I'll say from my personal perspective as an American citizen is we have way too many guns. White people have way too many guns. Black people have way too many guns. There are just too many guns. So that's my position on gun ownership in general. But when it comes to racism and Black ownership of guns, you know, if you ever want to see what somebody really thinks, ask that question that you just asked. Because if we're talking about gun rights in general, you know, we have a very, very strong group, the NRA here, National Rifle Association, that will not allow any infringement upon carrying weapons. They don't care how many kids are killed in a school or how many people are shot on a street corner. They don't, until you say, let's get more guns into the hands of Black people. Then that's when they're like, okay, well, let's back up, you know? And also when we have situations where someone is stopped by the police and because they have a legal gun and they're African American, or because someone comes into their home and they have a gun and they, you know, defend themselves, they don't come to the rescue of African Americans when it deals with the issues of guns. So I personally think we will be a lot better off if we limit the amount of guns that we have in this country and limit the role we give to them in our culture. But I also think that it is a false narrative when you have people talking about the fact that the Second Amendment, it's everybody's right, it's really important, because that's not what they really mean. And on a really practical, like, danger level, one of the things that I think is dangerous for us is sometimes people take promoting the Second Amendment as a means that gun, that right to have that gun, can be used to give strength to your political argument. Things like we saw in Michigan, where people were protesting and they decided to be carrying weapons with them. That's not what we have the Second Amendment for. The Second Amendment doesn't exist that if your voice isn't loud enough, the gun will help people hear and pay attention to you. That's not what the Second Amendment means. And so I think we have a real potential problem coming up in this country in November, because you've got people that feel really strongly about the protest and Black Lives Matter, and we're telling those exact same people, when you go out to protest, remember, you're also protecting your guns. That's a horrible.
Thank you so much for that.